Hi, I'm Lynn Scheurell of MyCreativeCatalyst.com, and I want to talk to you about one of the most common questions I get from my clients. Here's the question: how do I know what I know? And I know they're asking this question when they ask me things like, well, how can I make a decision? Should I go from my head or from my heart? Or how do I go within to get my answers when I can lie to myself and make stuff up? So the real question there, the question behind the question is, how do I know what I know? And I have some thoughts on that. Here is what I think our society does. I think that our society actually trains us to focus on our limitations instead of our potential, unfortunately. In school, we're taught to look at the low grade that we're getting and focus on building that. So we're looking at our deficit to get better at what we're doing, as opposed to building up our strengths and our natural talents. The logic there says, well, you got a good grade, you're already doing it, so you don't need to worry about that, right? But instead, our natural strength, we're not taught to see our magic. That's the bottom line. We're taught how to follow the rules, how to memorize data, how to gather facts, how to get information from the physical senses, and to rely on our intellect. Those are all really important. And it's not to say that the schools are doing a bad job or teachers. And in fact, I think they're doing a really good job with what they've got to work with on a daily basis. And this isn't really about that. But no school that I know of actually teaches kids how to listen to their own inner wisdom, and we pay the price for that as adults. We make decisions based on logic or other people's opinions or expectations, or because it seemed logical or it was the easiest way to go. And of course we're going to choose the easy way, because if we don't have symbolic sight or second sight, and if we can't see that our right path is going to lead us to where we need to go and trust that, then of course we're going to take the easy way. So if we listen to our own internal wisdom, though, if we know what we know, we're going to make the decision that's right for us. And what will happen too, if we make decisions and they don't turn out the way we thought they would, or we have some challenges, a lot of times we'll internalize that and say, well, gosh, that must be a reflection of my self-worth. Oh, I made a terrible decision. I'm a bad person. I didn't get it. And that's usually not the case. That's usually a default program that kind of made that choice. We did it out of a knee-jerk reaction or based on external influences. So instead of knowing what we know from the inside. And here's what it looks like. Here's some of the clients that I'm working with. I'm working with a young woman who's a very gifted and talented artist, but she's really focused on her job because, and yet she knows that her art will yield bigger results for her, both personally and professionally, but her family is guiding her into having a stable career and have a job and stay settled down. So she's focusing on her job as opposed to her passion, because she doesn't know that that's actually going to be safe. And that's a lot to take on. And there's a man I'm working with who is in a business partnership. He's in a relationship, but at the same time on the side, he's developed something that he believes can teach the world to have a whole new quality of life. And it's where he finds his joy, it's effortless for him, and he already has some students. But he continues to turn down his light with that because he's in a partnership that generates revenue. And what he's doing isn't stable enough or consistent enough that he can rely on that. So it's not rational to make that jump. He knows what he knows, but he's consciously choosing to slow down his path because of the pull of the physical world. And we all have those choices to make. That does come up. I'm working with a consulting firm owner who is doing everything right. She's been doing it a long time, and it's not as exciting for her in her business anymore. And she's actually very gifted. She's a gifted artist, facilitator, and she knows how to transform hidden human dynamics into something that can be really powerful and amazing. And she knows that she can apply this in this new talent in a traditional field, or even go beyond. But even though she knows that, it's really hard to leave the tried and true bread and butter for something that's as yet unknown, unproven, and something that's outside the box. That's a big move. And with each of these people, they're getting their signs. They know what they know. If they listen to their messages and act accordingly, things would probably be really a lot more smooth than they expect. They would make a lot more progress faster because things would be smoother. Obstacles would melt, and they would be feeling the joy. Things would magically show up for them to support them in doing what they do. And yet each of them perceives that it's a big challenge and big energy to make that move. I would actually argue that they're taking more energy to hold themselves back from following what they know for themselves to be true for them in their heart of hearts, I think that probably takes more energy than they're actually aware of or consider. So here's a quick check-in that you can do to understand, to know what you need to know. How's that? So, okay, here's what you do. Close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, imagine a clock face. Except it's not a normal clock face. It only has one hand. And it will either point to the yes or it will point to no. So there's not any numbers on this clock face. Now think about a situation that you have right now that's facing you that you're not sure you know how to handle. Maybe it's a difficult situation or a relationship, something that's challenging. Ask yourself, ask your clock face, do I know what I need to know to handle this situation well? And wait. Watch to see, does it point to yes or does it point to no? If it points to yes, and you didn't know that you had the answer, then start asking more yes-no questions. Okay, do I know this consciously? Yes, no. Do I know what to do next? Yes, no. Is it about this person? Yes, no. Is it about this action? Yes, no. When you ask the original question, you got to know, then the next question is this something I am to know right now? If you get a yes, great, keep asking questions. But if you get a no, then ask, is there something else yet to be revealed? If it says yes, then great, you know what's going on there. If it tells you a no, that you don't know the answer and this is not the right timing, set it aside and just come back to it later. There's probably either timing or some variables that are unfolding that you're not aware of. There's something else at work there. But you can use this tool to help you know what you know in just about anything. So I hope that that's helpful for you. My question for you now is this. What do you know, and what can you do to take action knowing what you know? So if you don't know what you know and you don't know how to take action, you may need to learn how to listen to that muscle again, that intuition, that inner voice, that inner wisdom. If you haven't done it in a while, it's going to feel weird, or you're not going to even know what it is that you're getting. You may not be able to understand your messages. So, and if you decide to get some outside support with that, know that a boxed system or someone else's system isn't going to necessarily work for you, because it's going to work different. You have your own symbology and your own messages, and you have your own personal formula for success. If you do decide to work with a teacher, a guide, or a mentor, you want to work with someone who can pull from you your personal formula. It's not about their ego. This is about your best self and the answers that are meant for you. And it's my sacred purpose, honestly. I will tell you, this is my sacred purpose to do this with my clients. I am honored and so blessed with the people who choose me as their catalyst. And I'm very excited to be able to say that that's what I do. It's in alignment with who I am. I don't do what I do because it's a business. I do it because it's who I am. So whether it's with me or with someone else as your guide, know that your mentor, your support person, your guide can help you do this a lot faster because they can help you see what you don't know, because that could be hiding in a blind spot. It might be an area of unconsciousness. It might be unfamiliar to you. By working with someone who can actually reflect to you what's happening in an articulate, conscious way, you will actually save yourself a lot of time and energy in moving forward because you're going to be knowing what you know from inside out. It's not about what other people say or their systems. So if you'd like to know more about me and how to live in clarity and to make decisions from what you know, please visit me at www.mycreativecatalyst.com. And if you do decide to use this technique with the clock face, I'd love to hear about your experiences with it. So if you come to the site, please send me an email and let me know what happens. Thanks so much for your time today, and here's to knowing what you know.